If you're still using NavigationLink everywhere in your SwiftUI app, stop. There's a much cleaner, more powerful way to handle navigation. And once you see this trick, you'll never go back. Today, I'm going to show you a tiny view modifier that completely fixes the messiness part of SwiftUI navigation. It makes your code simpler, more reusable, and way easier to scale. And you can drop it in to any project in just a second. Let's jump to it. And if you want me to build an app for your business, go ahead and check out the link in the description. More on this later in the video. Now today, I'm going to talk about navigation. And for that, of course, here we have a demo, just starting project. We do need a new destination. So let's create a new file from template, SwiftUI view. Let's click on next over here. And let's just call this destination view. Okay, let's create that. And, this is where we are going to go when we, for example, tap on a button. So let's just do that. I'm going to add in a button over here. And I prefer the one with the label. There we go. A role label. Let's just go with the title and action. I just have tap me and then the action. Okay, so let's see this simulator a little bit larger, the preview provider. And also, we are going to navigate to our destination. So first of all, let's talk about how navigation works in SwiftUI. There are two types of navigations. The first one is when we are just sliding in. And the second one is when we are sliding up, and it's called the modal. And those are two types, one as a sheet and the other one as a full screen cover. So it covers everything on your screen. So what I want to talk about today, and we are going to build some code also around that, is that we do have these nice view modifiers for the models, the sheet and the full screen covers, but we do not actually have a proper way of handling these navigations with a view modifier when we are sliding it in, so the navigation link. Quick break. If you're a business owner and you want more returning customers, your own app is one of the strongest loyalty machines you can build. I help cafes, gyms, salons, restaurants, and local service businesses create apps that increase retention, automate communication, and boost revenue without adding more work on your plate. If you want an app that keeps customers coming back, book your free call down in the description. So let me just show you what I mean by the sheet. So let's just have, well, first of all, we do need to have some sort of a value. So at state private var is presented, and then the default value is false. Let me just move this out of the way so you can see a little bit more code. So we are going to connect this to the sheet view modifier, and there's this one with the is presented. That's what I'm interested in, and on dismiss. So I'm really keen on having on dismiss. So whenever the sheet is being dismissed, we can act upon it. We can do something over there. So let's bind it. So $ is presented. On dismiss, let's just print out, maybe just dismissed. Okay. And then the content. What do I want to present when I'm presenting the sheet? That's the destination view. Okay. So if I tap over here, actually, currently nothing happens because I do need to toggle the is presented. So from false to true. And if I tap on it again, there we go. We are presenting this sheet. And if you just slide down, it's just going to present. Great. By the way, the same goes for the full screen cover. I'm not going to waste time on that. It's the same API. It's just going to cover everything. Okay. So that's how sheets work. Let's take a look at how the navigation link works, when we are sliding it in from the side. So I'm just going to comment this out, and let's create a navigation link. Let's just have this title key. Again, tap me, and then the destination would be our destination view. As you can see, it's a little bit easier, but we still have some issues. First of all, we don't have the onThisMiss callback, which is kind of the shame, but we are going to fix that in just a second. And then this is grayed out. Well, that's because the preview is not inside a navigation stack. Therefore, we cannot navigate it with the navigation link. So we're just going to add a navigation stack over here and basically wrap the content view around. Well, navigation stack will contain this content view. And then if I just click on tap me, it's going to slot it in. We can just go back. It's really nice, right? But these are two different APIs, and the onThisMiss callback is missing on the navigation link. So how could we actually make this work? Well, we actually want a button, and we want to have this is presented. You know, the data change should drive the UI. So what I'm going to do is just comment this out too, so you can just see it as a reference. I'm going to create another button. So button, title will be just fine. Again, just tap me, and then the action. So the action should be basically is presented dot toggle, right? So a data change. So how can we actually navigate, in a NavigationLink style? Well, there is this navigation destination view modifier, not the one with a for nor with the item, the one with the is presented. It's kind of, it's kind of looking like the one with the sheet or the full screen cover. It's a little bit different, but we're going to talk about all the nuances in just a sec. So let's just use that. $sign is presented, we are binding it, and then the destination will be our destination view. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Let's just click on tap me. Really nice. It does the same exact thing as the navigation link. Okay, now we have started something. We are having this is presented as toggled as the data change, and then we have the navigation. Okay, but still we don't have this onThisMiss callback. Well, just think about it. Whenever we are toggling by setting false to true on the is presented, we are displaying our navigation. So when we are coming back, so if we just tap on the back button over here, this is presented is going to be set back to false again, because it's not being presented. So therefore we can just listen on the changes. So on change of is presented. And then we're going to have this old value and the new value. We don't care about the old value, so I'm just going to replace it with the underscore, and the new value, just for readability, we are going to change it to is presented. So let's just print out is presented. So we can just see it. And right over here in the console, you see, it's just going to be dismissed. That's the previous one. But for now, canvas. Yes, so let's just tap over here. Now it is presented. So we are printing out true. Whenever we go back, it's just going to print false. So basically, this is what we want to listen for. So instead of printing out is presented, we're just going to say if not is presented. So basically, if that value is false, then we're just going to print out dismissed, whatever we printed out previously. So let's just see that again. Let me just clear out the canvas, the console, tap me. Nothing is printed out, which is fine. But as soon as I tap on the back button, dismissed. Really, really nice. Now, this is fine, all right? This is okay, but we have two view modifiers. It's a little bit more convoluted. We need to know what the navigation destination on change of is presented. So let's just create something that looks so familiar. Well, the one that with the sheet or the full screen cover. So we could just you could just argue that okay, an extension on the view would do it, but actually not, because we need to have a binding. right over here, and there is presented, and also listening on the on changes. So an actual view modifier, not an extension on the view, an actual view modifier will work better. So let's create that right over here. So let's create a view modifier. I'm going to use the default values. Link view modifier. There we go. And we don't care about the preview, so let's just remove that. We don't care about the default view modifiers on the content. So this is our starter one. What we are going to move inside is the destination. The binding is presented, and also something that we are going to trigger when we are dismissing the view. So let's take them one by one. First of all, let's go for the binding. So let me just move this up so we can see a little bit better. So we have a binding, var is presented of type bool, no default values. This is just a binding. And then on dismiss, let's just have this on dismiss. Basically, it should be optional. Also on the sheet view modifier, it's optional. So I'm just going to go with that. And then a destination. So we want to prepare our destination as a view. That's how we do that. And then a view builder var destination. And then that would be of type destination. Okay. So also let's just create our custom initializer. So init and is presented bool. Yeah, we do need to work on this, but this will be a binding actually. Binding of type Boolean. Okay. And then maybe let's just put this onto a new line and this one also. And let's give the default value for the on dismiss to be nil. So maybe we don't want to set the on dismiss, and then this view needs to be replaced by the type of the view that we are going for, and that is the destination. And then because this is a binding, not a Boolean like it proposed, we just need to access the wrap value of the binding when we are assigning it. Okay, so yeah, now we can just maybe copy and paste all of this stuff and put it onto the content. And now let's replace the stuff that actually needs to be replaced. First of all, the destination view. So this will be our destination. Okay. And then we, whenever we are checking for the is presented, we have that. Whenever it's not is presented, okay, we don't print out dismissed. We're just going to say on dismiss. It's optional, so that's the question. That's why we have the question mark and then those two parentheses. So it's going to be triggered. And basically that's it. Now we can use the dot modifier, view modifier on the view, but there's an easier way. Let's create an extension on the view. So extension view, and let's just call this link func link. Let's see if no, it's not going for it. I'm just going to go and type it out myself. So it's going to be a destination. We want to pass the type along, and then is presented. Come on, not that type of bracket is presented. Okay, and that will be a binding bool, binding of type bool. And maybe let's just put this on a new line so we can see it a little bit better. What's going on over here? Destination. Oh, we're not using it just yet. Okay, next up is on dismiss. So on dismiss. Again, this will be optional. Default value will be nil. And this will be our callback over here. So we want to have that void or there. Great. So on dismiss, and then finally our view builder content. I'm just calling it content, not destination. Here, we do need to have it destination because the content is right over here in the property. And the content is what is being used by the sheet. So let's just use that one. So let's just scroll down and type out content. That would be an escaping and destination. Okay, and also this needs to be at view builder with a capital V. Okay, so this will actually return some view. You know, it is a view modifier, so we do need to add in that return statement. And yeah, let's just add in modifier. That's right, and then link view modifier. There we go. We're going to use the one with on dismiss. And then is presented, well, we're just going to pass that along. Is presented on dismiss, again on dismiss. Destination will be our content. Okay, that should do it. Yes, and the error sign went away because now we are using our destination of type view. And let's just see it. Instead of this, all over this, I'm just going to use the one with the link. So dot link. Now you can see the API is exactly the same what we had for the sheet and the full screen cover. So again, I'm going to use the one with on dismiss. Is presented. Let's just bind it. $ is presented. On dismiss, let's just print out dismissed. And then content, that would be our destination view, right? Okay, so let's just check it out. Tap me. It's right over there. And let me just clear out the console. Clicking back, it's just printing out dismiss, which is really, really nice. Now, that is really great, but there is a caveat for this. Let's just go and scroll down, and under navigation destination, and let's just jump to their definition. And let's take a look at the node that we have right over here. So it says, do not put a navigation destination modifier inside a lazy container like lists or lazy V stacks. These containers create child views only when needed to render on screen, which makes sense. Add a navigation destination modifier outside these containers so that the navigation stack can always see the destination. It needs to always see the destination. Okay, so what we have over here, just scroll back, we have a vertical stack. So it's not a lazy view, which is fine. So everything is working as expected. But what if, and most probably you are going to encounter, what if this would be a list? Now we have this tab me, of course, we can just remove the padding so it looks much better. So yeah, now we do have it on screen, but it's actually not a good practice because this might be all the way down, right? So how to fix this? Well, first of all, I'm just going to copy this out so it's not inside our lazy view, in our case, the list. I'm just going to paste it outside, which also works, right? So we could just tap me, and there we go. Now, you could just go ahead and create the same structure for the one with the item. You know, sheets are having also not just is presented, you can just go with items, and that's what actually works better with lists. But yeah, now you know the gist of it, and with the is presented, it's quite simple right now, and you can just go ahead and create the one with the item. Now, if you'd like what I built right over here and you kind of trust me, go ahead and check out the link in the description if you want an app built for your business.